The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assures residents affected by the Kanlaon volcano eruption of the government's continued support as he enforced a whole-of-government approach. Marcos administration targets to sell rice at 29 pesos per kilo to poor families with newly approved tariff rates. The Armed Forces of the Philippines vehemently denies aiming guns at the Chinese Coast Guard during the supply mission incident on May 19. And we will discover why the United States sought the support of the United Nations Security Council for U.S. President Joe Biden's plan to end the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of June, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Marvy Delfin. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Oralyn Quijano. First in the news. Kanlaon City is now under state of calamity due to the eruption of the Kanlaon volcano that started yesterday. Meanwhile, the city has initially reported more than 2,000 farmers affected by the volcano's phreatic explosion. Gladys Tawabi will tell us why. Following the eruption of Kanlaon volcano last night, June 3, a preemptive evacuation was done to secure the residents near Mount Kanlaon. And help from the government and national agencies were delivered immediately, such as the family food packs. Currently, Kanlaon City is now placed under state of calamity. 5 barangays in the city were affected by the eruption: Pula, Masulog, Malaiba, Lumapaw, and Linuthang. Meanwhile, the local government unit has initially reported more than 2,000 farmers affected. According to Mayor Jose Chubasco Cardenas, the assistance will be given to the farmers once the system is plotted and meeting with the Agriculture Department is done. In a press conference earlier today, June 4, Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian said, apart from the food packs distributed, the department is ready to respond and help the residents recover.
Napag-usapan din namin kanina yung mga iba pang pwedeng intervention bukod sa family food packs kung lalala ang ating sitwasyon. Gaya ng template na ibigay ng Pangulo namin sa DSWD, family food packs muna para masigurado natin na walang nagugutom, and then later on financial assistance para naman yung mga pangangailangan ng mga pamilya na hindi matatagpuan sa loob ng kahon na ibinibigay ng family food pack, maaari nilang mabili on their own. Pero wala pa tayo doon ngayon. Gusto lang namin i-assure ang ating mga lokal na pamahalaan na ang pamahalang nasyonal ay nakatutok, kaya personal akong inatasan ng Pangulo.
Gladys Tawabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God. To lower the price of rice, the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA board, has approved the reduction of tariffs on rice imports. The agency explained that the government needs to do this because of a threat of a serious inflation problem. Nel Maribahok reports.
From the current 35%, the import duty rate on rice will be reduced to 15%. This was approved in the recent board meeting of the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, headed by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
The NEDA board agrees to reduce the duty rate to 15% for both in-quota and out-quota rates from 35% until 2028. This decision aims to lower the price of rice further and make it more affordable.
The main objective of the tariff reduction on rice is to lower the price of the crop in the market. According to National Economic and Development Authority Director General and Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, the government is targeting to sell rice at 29 pesos per kilo to poor families.
The Department of Agriculture is aiming for a reduction of to 39 pesos per kilo, at least for the poor, because we will complement this tariff reduction with direct subsidies to the poor and vulnerable, so that at least they could access the food at 29 pesos per kilo.
Asked how soon the tariff adjustment to take effect on local rice prices, Balisacan said it will take a little bit more time because an executive order has to be issued and that will influence the decision of private sectors to import. Nel Maribuho, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Solicitor General Menardo Guevara has explained that his office may file other cases against suspended Banban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo aside from a quo warranto petition. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
Solicitor General or SolGen Menardo Guevara has stated on Tuesday, June 4, that they are not just looking at quo warranto petition to oust people, such as in the case of suspended Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Go from public office. In the case of the suspended mayor, SolGen Guevara explained there may be some other complaints that they need to file before going into a quo warranto petition. The question of her citizenship is allegedly an obstacle regarding a quo warranto petition because it could not be attacked directly.
So we need to look at other legal remedies first before embarking on a quo warranto petition, or probably filing a quo warranto petition on the basis not only of citizenship or the lack of it, but on other grounds like residency, or literacy, or disqualifications according to the election code natin. No? So those things we are considering as well. So not only on citizenship.
In addition, Guevara admitted that the information surrounding Go are complicated. Thus, they need a thorough evaluation of the data they gathered over their ongoing investigation that stands in court.
Well, the information is quite magulo. It's kind of complicated. You all know that, no? You're listening to her testimony and the testimony of other people before the congressional hearing. So we are encountering the same problem insofar as the OSG is concerned.
The OSG also refused to give details on their findings until they get all the necessary information. Guevara assured that the preventive suspension imposed on Go would not affect their investigation. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, the jury in Hunter Biden's case has sworn in and will hear evidence of drug addiction and gun purchase against the son of U.S. President Joe Biden. James Hilario details why.
On Monday, June 3, a jury sworn in for the trial of Hunter Biden, son of United States President Joe Biden, on gun charges. A historic criminal prosecution of a sitting president's son with the potential to impact the 2024 presidential election. Hunter faced trial at the federal courthouse in Wilmington, Delaware, 4 days after former President Donald Trump was found guilty of a crime. The presidential son has been accused of not disclosing his illegal drug use when he purchased and illegally possessing a Colt Cobra .38 caliber revolver in October 2018. Furthermore, he is facing federal tax charges in California, but he has pleaded not guilty to all 3 felony charges. U.S. District Judge Mary Ellen Noreika ended the day by swearing in the 12 jurors in 4 alternates. She warned them not to discuss the case with anyone, not even among themselves. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden faces up to 25 years in prison if convicted on all charges in the Delaware case. James Hilario, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. House Speaker Martin Romualdez pledged congressional support to the interest subsidy for beneficiaries of government housing projects. Meanwhile, Speaker Romualdez and Senate President Francis Escudero are scheduled to meet this month. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez pledged the support of the House of Representatives for the beneficiaries of the National Housing for Filipinos project of the government, specifically the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development's request for a 10 billion peso interest subsidy this year. He made the statement during a media interview following an inspection of the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Filipino housing project of the Marcos administration in Barangay Gitnang Bayan 2, San Mateo, Rizal. The aim is to assist informal settlers who will primarily benefit from the government's housing project through the government-provided interest subsidy.
Yan, inihingi namin na may batas na rin yan para yung popondo ng pambansang pabahay ng mga private sector na mag-take out ng housing loan para sa mahihirap. Nakasiguro sila mababayaran.
We shall prioritize this para masuportahan talaga itong housing program ng ating Pangulo dito sa legacy housing project. So we think that the 10 billion interest subsidy, we can set that aside for this particular priority program.
According to the leadership of the House of Representatives, the housing project being constructed in San Mateo, Rizal will serve as the standard for all housing projects in Metro Manila. The goal is to build 4,330 housing units at the location. Currently, out of the 6 buildings targeted for construction, Building 1 of the housing project has reached a construction progress of 66.55%. Others range from 5 to 35.38% completion. Meanwhile, Speaker Romualdez and Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero had a conversation on the sidelines of the ceremonial signing by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. of the Kabalikat sa Pagtuturo Act at Malacanang, Monday, June 3. According to the Speaker, they agreed with their Senate counterpart to meet this month. This is before the Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council or LEDA convenes.
Although hindi full-out meeting, nag-agree kami ni Senate President that even before the LEDAC na sa third week ng itong buwan na to, mag-uusap tayo.
Additionally, his conversation with Senate President Escudero was positive.
Yung coordination will be particularly dito sa mga bicameral conference committees on how we reconcile the differing versions and how we will just await the Senate in prioritizing which of the local legislations that we have also passed and transmitted to the Senate will be acted upon. Pero maganda naman yung usapan natin ni Senate President.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Amid the controversies hounding Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo, a lawmaker wants stricter late birth registration process in the country. Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada has filed a bill seeking to impose stiffer penalties to applicants who will provide false statements in their late registration of birth. The measure also seeks to provide stricter requirements, including certificate of marriage and birth certificates of parents.
Kasi yung existing law tungkol doon sa delayed registration, obsolete na, 1930 pa. Yung penal clause doon sa existing law, 200 pesos lang. Tinaas natin sa 100,000 to 250,000. Just to be attuned in our times. Kasi 200, mga 200, di ba?
The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, earlier today, June 4, revealed in a Senate hearing that they found irregularities in the delayed registration of Guo's birth due to lack of supporting documents. Some senators believe Guo's father lied in applying the birth certificate in 2005 when Guo was 19 years old, noting that some foreign nationals take advantage of the late birth registration. Estrada hopes that the bill will deter the alleged syndicates inside government agencies.
Siguro may mga sindikato na sa DFA, yung mga nag-i-issue ng mga passport. Sa mga Chinese nationals na hindi naman talaga Filipino, na hindi marunong managalog. Yung civil registry, kung ano-ano mga ini-issue mga peke. Para dapat matigil na itong mga sindikatong to.
The Philippine National Police has relieved 49 officers and personnel of Bamban Municipal Police Station in Tarlac Province. PNP Public Information Office Chief Colonel Jean Fajardo said 47 personnel and 2 police officials were transferred to the Regional Police Holding and Accounting Unit and will undergo focus reformation and reorientation training program. The said officers will be replaced by police personnel from Police Regional Office 3 and various municipalities in Tarlac.
Kapag ganyang may malalaking krimen sa isang lugar, may mga illegal activities na nangyayari and yet hindi gumaganap sa kanilang mga tungkulin ang ating mga kapulisan. So ang tinitignan natin yan, yung possible negligence at kapabayaan dun sa kanilang trabaho po.
The relief of the 49 police personnel was implemented to give way to investigation on their alleged failure to detect the illegal activities in the raided Pogo Hub in Bamban, Tarlac last March, where they rescued victims of human trafficking.
Alert level of Mount Kanlaon has been raised to alert level 2 after a volcano eruption, sending a 5-kilometer tall ash plume into the sky last night. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, is closely monitoring the situation, ensuring the safety of residents in the affected areas. Jed Neresina details why.
The chief of the Volcano Monitoring and Eruption Prediction Division of Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology of PHIVOLCS has stated that there is a possibility that Mount Kanlaon will erupt again. That's why people living in the area should stay alert and aware of their surroundings. PHIVOLCS explained that this is the pattern of Kanlaon.
Whatever happens, likely po yung magkaroon po tayo ng mga phreatic or similar explosive events. Kasi ganun po yung ugali ng Kanlaon. More often than not, meron pong kasunod. It can happen anytime. As long as meron po tayong unrest, yung parameters po natin ay nasasaad na meron po tayong anomalies sa bulkan.
Based on PHIVOLCS monitoring, 81 volcanic earthquakes or quakes around the volcano were recorded. Almost 80 tons of sulfur dioxide was spent out of the volcano one day before the explosion. The ground deformation of the slope of the volcano also continues, which is an indication of its possible explosion. Furthermore, PHIVOLCS strictly reminds the public to be vigilant and avoid entering the 4-kilometer radius permanent danger zone or PDZ of Mount Kanlaon. This is to reduce the danger from sudden explosions, rockfalls, and landslide. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Marcos Jr. on Tuesday, June 4th, assured all the residents affected by the Kanlaon volcano eruption of the government's continued support as he enforced a whole-of-government approach to ensure the welfare of the public and the immediate provision of assistance. In a video message, President Marcos said that the government has already provided necessary assistance to the affected residents. He also called on the residents to remain vigilant and refrain from staying at the permanent danger zone.
Tinitiyak ko na ang ating pamahalaan ay handa at patuloy na nagbibigay ng suporta hanggang makabalik ng ligtas ang lahat sa kanilang mga tahanan. Ako rin ay nananawagan sa lahat, lalo na sa mga nakatira malapit sa lugar, na maging mapagmatsyag at iwasan ang 4-kilometer radius permanent danger zone. Mangyaring sumunod sa mga payo at tagubilin mula sa mga lokal na otoridad.
The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, explains the urgency in canceling flights due to the phreatic eruption of Kanlaon volcano in Negros Island. The agency, however, confirms the resumption of operations in affected airports in the Visayas region. Asher Kadapan Jr. details why.
The eruption of Kanlaon volcano and the presence of volcanic ash in surrounding airspace pose dangers to aircraft operation and safety. With this, the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, implements NODAM, or Notice to Airmen, to formally notify aircraft pilots of the hazards.
Kasi napakadelikado po ito sa engine ng aircraft. Pag na-ingest po yan, mag-i-stall yung engine mid-air, mas malaking problema ito sa kader.
Based on CAAP's data, since the eruption of Kanlaon volcano last night, 66 flights were cancelled, affecting over 5,000 domestic airline passengers.
Palipad na sana yung eroplano, so magte-take off na sana. Tinawagan yung pilot na balik muna kami sa base. Tapos, yun, pinababa kami sa eroplano. Pagkatapos yun, nag-offer lang sila ng snacks tsaka tubig. At tapos, tinanong kami kung magpa-rebook or magpa-change ng flight.
CAAP, however, confirms that the operations of Bacolod, Silay, and Iloilo airports were resumed at 11 in the morning today, June 4. Major local airlines inside the airports immediately follow the opening of their counters, while CAAP advises passengers to coordinate with their respective airlines for flight information. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The COVID-19 subvariant KP.2, known as part of the so-called flirt variant, has now entered the country. This was confirmed by the Department of Health. In a statement, Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo of the DOH said that the subvariant was detected in a sample collection from May. According to the DOH, based on the latest sequencing data from the University of the Philippines, Philippine Genome Center, 2 cases of KP.2 were reported last month.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines vehemently denies aiming guns at the Chinese Coast Guard during the supply mission incident on May 19. According to the AFP, it was the Chinese who seized the supplies, threw them into the sea, and falsely accused the Philippines of littering the ocean. Ryan Nakalale explains why.
2 large rigid-hulled inflatable boats from China competed with the smaller rubber boats of the Philippine Navy on May 19, 2024 during an AFP resupply mission. In the video, it can be seen that the Chinese forces were persistently chasing and grabbing the supplies dropped by an aircraft near the BRP Sierra Madre. One of the 4 packages airdrop was seized by the Chinese. When they saw that the package contained only food and medicine, and no construction materials, they threw the supply into the sea. Some of these were recovered by the soldiers. Despite this, China still claimed that the Philippines had dumped trash into the sea.
The video will show that the ICAD activities are all contrary to what they say. Their deceptive actions, they lack common sense. We could not airdrop construction materials. Their narratives is that they do the blocking because of construction materials. I would like to point out that they have zero common sense. You will see that what appeared there is all food stuff.
The confiscation of supplies by the Chinese is an illegal move and was called a provocation by the AFP. According to General Browder, such action are not condoned under international order.
Dahil hindi naman po talaga dapat ginagawa yan in the international order. You're not supposed to confiscate the supplies of another country, even in war, no? Sa gera, kung minsan ay pagka supplies na yan, food supplies and even medicines, no? Usually the adversaries would allow food supplies and medicines to pass through for humanitarian reasons.
According to the Armed Forces of the Philippines, this was the first time the Chinese Coast Guard came within 5 to 10 meters of the Philippine ship stranded at Ayungin Shoal, which alarmed the soldiers.
In this case, because of that intent of the Chinese Coast Guard to get our supplies, they came very, very close to the BRP Sierra Madre. No? And of course, this posed from the point of view of our soldiers, this posed a danger, a threat, no? Dahil napakalapit na nila. That is why there were videos, there were images of our soldiers carrying their guns.
According to the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr., soldiers do not usually carry guns during rotational and resupply missions. However, due to the threat to their security, the soldiers carried guns this time.
The handling of the weapons by our personnel is not a normal occurrence during RORES. But in this particular incident, because the Chinese Coast Guard or Chinese RIPs came very, very, very close to the BRP Sierra Madre, of course this was a cause of alarm. So our soldiers, as a precautionary measure, held on to their firearms.
The AFP strongly denies that the Filipino soldiers pointed guns. General Browner emphasized that their personnel strictly follow the rules of engagement.
On the issue of the pointing of the guns, we are denying that any of our soldiers pointed deliberately their guns to any of the Chinese in the ribs, no?
Since the BRP Sierra Madre is a commissioned vessel or an active ship of the Philippine Navy, our soldiers have the rights to carry weapons and defend themselves against enemy threats.
The BRP Sierra Madre is a commissioned Philippine Navy ship, and therefore it is authorized to have weapons. We are authorized to put weapons on board, no? Both crew-served weapons and individual weapons of our soldiers. Meron tayong karapatan, no? Because of the concept of self-defense.
Ryan Lacanlale, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, 4 people have died due to severe flooding caused by heavy rainfall in southern Germany. Thousands of residents in Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg have evacuated their homes since the intense downpour began on Friday, May 31st. According to German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who visited the affected areas, the flooding is a stark reminder of the environmental challenges we face.
Vice President Kamala Harris will represent the United States at the Swiss-organized Global Peace Summit for Ukraine. This event is being championed by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The White House announced that Vice President Harris will attend the summit, which is scheduled to take place in Lucerne on June 15. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden is scheduled to attend a campaign fundraiser in Los Angeles, hosted by actors George Clooney and Julia Roberts.
The United States sought on Monday, June 3rd, the support of the United Nations Security Council for United States President Joe Biden's plan to end the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. The draft resolution calls on Hamas to accept the deal and implement its terms promptly and without conditions. This move follows Algeria's recent proposal urging a Gaza ceasefire and the release of hostages, placing pressure on Israel to halt its military offensive. Meanwhile, Linda Thomas Greenfield, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, urges unanimous adoption of the resolution and emphasized the need for unity in supporting the ceasefire agreement. Currently, Biden's three-phase ceasefire proposal has garnered support from various leaders and governments, including Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, and G7 nations. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God. From the book of 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 7, it says, "That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ." Those are the reasons behind the news, June 4th, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Orlin Quijano, live from Toronto, Canada.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Marvi Delfin, live from Perth, Australia. We serve the people, we give glory to God.